Hi there. Yesterday I came across with an article discussing how HR deals with search of AI applications. Someone mentioned extreme case scenario when some applicants submit 1000 applications in 24 hours. This is unreal and really concerning. But it also made me think there is more to that issue, and that's not just numbers, this is dynamics of the process. But in order to explain, I decided to create a simulation and visualize it, and this is what I'm going to show you here. So thanks to LLM, specifically to Sonnet 3.5, which helped me to conceptualize and visualize this simulation in a matter of few hours yesterday evening. And let me explain what you can see here. So this is a situation. You posted 3 jobs on the market at the same time. Job 1, 2, and 3. This is surrounded by potential applicants. It's not just applicants, all potentials, but those who become aware of these jobs 1, 2, 3 sooner or later in the simulation process. You can also see some of them are blue, some of them are red. This is human traditional respondents versus AI assisted or automated respondents. I'm sorry for using the word respondents because in the last 20 years I've dealt with respondents research, and it's actually applicants, everywhere applicants. It's a human being. This is applicants. Even, and what I'm saying that for AI applicants, it's still human being, just equipped with the tools that might be AI, it might be crawlers, it might be templates, it might be automation, and this landscape is growing and evolving week by week. But they are different types. So some of them doing traditional application process, and some doing like most advanced and equipped with all sort of tools, which helps them a lot. So, and let's discuss some factors that affects the simulation and some assumptions that went with the simulation. There are 4 of them. So the first factor is delayed random awareness. So people become aware of these jobs in the market not immediately after you posted that. It's actually a random event that ranges from a few hours after to a few days after. But it's a distribution that averages to some mean, and that mean is different for human versus AI. So for human, I assume it is about 32 hours later after you post it, and for AI, I assume it is 24 hours later after you post it. Why there is a difference? I believe that AI assisted applicants are better equipped to deal with more jobs, and they have faster processing, they have smaller backlog, they have automation tools, and they need less time to fit into their busy schedules. So essentially they have multiple reasons why they would check for any available jobs more frequently, right? So the second assumption is about time constraint. So I assume these people, like everyone, are busy in their lives. It's whatever it is, job, studies, personal matter, they can only allocate about 2 hours per day to job search. And these are kind of random hours. It might be 2 hours straight in the evening, morning, doesn't matter. It affects equally both type of applicants, human and AI. So it's actually, this specific number doesn't matter, 2, 3, or 4, because it doesn't make a difference human versus AI, but it should be there because it's reflective of our real lives. So the third assumption is about preparation time. So once you become aware of the job, and if you decided to apply for that job, you still need to spend time on preparing your application. And this is where you see the biggest difference between AI versus human applicants. because this is what AI is for, to deliver speed, efficiency, and I assume that for AI it would take 30 minutes to prepare application versus for human beings it would take about like 4 hours to prepare an application. So why 30 minutes? Why not instant? Because you still need to do lots of stuff, like at least minimal supervision of what your AI is telling you to submit. You need to do some kind of account management on an HR portal. You need to answer some mandatory questionnaire. So all takes time, and I think 30 minutes is the minimum, at least. I think it's pretty fair. But for regular human applicants, 4 hours might sound big, but I don't know. Like this might be a really bigger or smaller number, because I heard of stories someone thinking about cover letters like for a day or two, or doing research for a day, after that applying, etc, etc, etc. So I assume 4 hours for now, which I don't think is extreme number, or let me know. And the last four assumptions that goes to the simulation is about jobs. These 3 jobs here is not the only jobs available to these people. There are some bigger amount of jobs available from other companies, markets, and everything. So I assume that at any given time, any of these individual is aware of 10 other jobs not shown in that picture. This is alternative jobs that are relevant and they might be interested too. So essentially they might apply to that too. They might spend their time and resources to apply to them too. So that said, at any given time, each of these individuals have a choice of 10 to 13 jobs to apply to. Okay, all of these also results in an increased likelihood of applying by AI applicants, because they have efficiencies, they have better pipelines, they have better resources in a sense, like this schedule and burden it would takes to apply. So they're more likely to apply in general. So let's run the simulation and see what happens here. Oh, by the way, before that, let's there would be like 3 charts at the bottom that would show how your pool of applicants would change over time. You see proportion of applicants for each jobs, 1, 2, 3, and there would be time axis, x-axis, showing how that proportion changed over time in the real flow process. In the simulation, you will see some kind of elements appearing. So you'll see some line flashing and remains after that. This is awareness events. This means the person becomes aware of the jobs, and after that it starts acting. And what happens after, you'll see small circles appearing of those lines of awareness, which would be the application preparation process. So it takes a little faster for AI, a little longer for human beings, but they still takes time. And once that preparation is done, they would submit the application. You will see that as this flying towards the job. So this virtually everything that you need to know about what you're going to see. So let's switch back to this mode. Let's update simulator, because again everything is random. I don't know what's going to show now, because every time it shows slightly different, but there's some common picture we're going to learn from. And let's run it. So once I hit that button, you'll see time, like showing days and hours. It would fly fast, and you'll see something happening in this area, like how the process would be happening, and we'll see how it would result in what proportion of applicants in your pool. Let's run it. So you see that some awareness start happening. People become aware randomly of different starts applying for the jobs. You see like these circles appearing, the preparation. It's really fast. We're already day 7 on this one, and application still flowing, not as fast at the beginning, but still flowing from all types of applicants. And you see what's happening with your pool. We're already day 12, and this is what your pool look like. And this is day 2, 4, 7, day 14. So we're 2 weeks now. Applications still coming, not as fast as before. And let's maybe stop here and reflect what we saw here. So what we see. So first of all, you will see that at the beginning you have overwhelming tidal wave of AI applications. They dominate your pool in a matter of days. Like you see day three, it's still mostly AI applications coming to you. So essentially you need to wait a little bit before your pool becomes to something reasonable. Like for instance, if I look at the day, let's say 7, I can see that 7, let's take day 6. Day 6, let's say, you're still getting like half and half applications coming from AI versus human, half and half. Here is like 40 or 60. What you can see here, like some unevenness. The line is not smooth because there is a randomness to that process. Because first of all, there is quite a limited number of applicants in this simulation, limited number of jobs, auto jobs. So, and random nature of this process like dictates those random fluctuations. But the common theme, I think you see the same: overwhelming response of AI at the beginning, and leveling off like a few days. Let's say after 7, 9 days, 10 days maybe, you can see your pool of applicants becomes more reflective of what's happening in the labor market right now. So what it all means. So just want to reflect, like in the past I heard that quite often, sometimes maybe HR would be happy to get 100, 150 applicants for job opening in order to follow up, let's say with 10 candidates they would screen, and all resulting in one offer at the end. That's kind of thing of the past. Like this is how I heard it like many years ago. Now instead you're getting 500, 700,000, even more applications in a few days. Looking at these charts, the worst decision HR could make is to take the first 100 applications that came early and put the rest of applications aside, just in case, like a plan B batch or something like this. This is what I read in that article. Someone saying, "Oh, just take the first 100 and forget about the rest." This is what we're gonna see here. Like if you take 100, you will be in this area. Because again, if the full pool is like 1500 applications, 1000 applications, your first 100 would be this: 70%, 85%, okay, like high percent of AI. And you're not happy with AI, right? Because you say that you want to see differentiation, better quality, better involvement, better personality, and everything in those applications. So essentially, most HR says that they disqualify most AI applications. Not all of them, but most of them, because they are not just like good enough, or they are not like real in a sense what they're claiming to be. So in that sense, if you take the first 100, you're gonna waste your hours spent on reading or reviewing those 100. So what's the best strategy? Should you skip first 100? Absolutely not. Even in this second day, you might have real good talent candidate coming, and that talent should not be penalized by the fact that it came with the company of bad players that arrived early in your pool too. So what to do? What's the solution? Here's my propositions. First, we need to forget about application count as something you should need to pay attention to. Just forget it. If you previously got 100, 150, you said, "Oh, that's a good pool I can work with." Now you get that maybe 3 hours later, or by the end of the day you'll get 300. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean that you get a good pool. Just forget about this 100 was 500 number. Just stop tracking this and looking at this and deciding anything on this number. The better strategy would be to switch to time-based rule. And that time actually now seems to be longer than before. It sounds kind of counterintuitive. Like how come in the age of AI, so fast flow of AI application, I need to allocate more time to hiring than before? And explain why. I give you an analogy. Imagine you have a room, and something fills your room with the smoke or fog very quickly, and you need extra time to clean that room with the clean air, and the pumping that clean air in that room is not as fast as the what happened in the first few hours. So essentially you need extra time to make air in your room like more reasonable. So the same happening here. You have a pool, and instead of uh, um, thinking about like number of applications, you need to allocate enough time for your pool to become more balanced, and in terms of proportion, real versus AI response, that will be more representative of the market itself, right? So that said, forget about selecting first 100, 100, 200 applications for sequential processing as it might be efficient before. Forget about order effect. Just keep your pool open until you collect whatever number it takes. I would recommend at least 7 days, maybe 10 days before even look at that pool. By that time you might have 300 resumes or 700 resumes or more. It doesn't matter. You're not going to process all of them. What you're going to do, you're going to take random subset of these, and this random subset should have nothing to do when this resume arrived, in the first 20 minutes after you posted it or 3 days later. It doesn't matter. By doing so, you ensure you are dealing with the proportions somewhere here. So that means your proportion of good applicants versus bad applicants. Okay, I'm probably exaggerating a little bit. AI applicants would be different, and you probably would be more productive by reviewing this 100 application than if you just take the first 100. That would be the first recommendation. The second thing is about communication and beliefs. So I think that HR actions and clear communications should discourage the speed of applying. For instance, if you take the job of the portal early, just because you already received 600 applications, you might think, oh, that might be a good idea to cut it. Just I don't want to create false sense that somebody can get a job just because it's still on. If you do so, you would reinforce beliefs of those AI applicants that the speed matters. That means if they apply early, they will have better chance being selected for review, at least somebody reading this resume. That would not just make them invest more into what they are doing and employing more advanced tools, increasing the speed of application, but also it would increase penetration of that approach, because these responses would start doing the same. So these applicants would convert into doing AI because they would say, oh, it doesn't work. If you're slow, you're not getting into the first like 300 applications, HR gonna look what. So in that sense, we can clearly communicate that all applications would be open at least like for 7-10 days, and no one is gonna do any preliminary selections until that period ends. And when happens after is a random selection of these applications from that pool, regardless how early or lately they came to that pool. So if we communicate it up front and we ensure that it happens, and we never take the jobs of the internet early, so we will make the AI speed pointless. So they would see that it doesn't matter whether you apply in 20 minutes or a few days, you still get the same chance. So that would discourage them in investing more and adopting that technology more. But there's bigger picture into that, because it's a two-side game, right? So that let's think about like how that game looks from the perspective of each of these individuals. So what we don't want to see is, we don't want these good candidates, some of them are good, but we don't want them to convert to AI approach. And this is what's going to happen, because if they consistently see that they don't have a chance to being even selected for review just because they were application number 350 in the pool, if they are not lighting fast in their applications, they need to adopt technique that other portion of the applicants are doing. It might be bad, because what we know that AI makes us all alike, right? Because this is what you see in your pool in the AI applications. They are all similar. It's very hard to make a choice. It's very hard to separate, to differentiate, to rank. So we don't want these AI being hiding real talents here, or maybe they're already hidden here. So we need to discourage the thing, and we need to be consistently clear in what we are doing and what communicating regarding our jobs posting. But this is just my thoughts, my observations, and my assumptions that went into that, which might be wrong. So give me your thoughts, or maybe alternative strategies. So thank you for watching. I will be looking for your responses.